Hi, I'm Laura Heine, a program manager on the Windows ecosystem team. In Windows 8, we created an easy way for apps to interact with each other. These interactions are implemented through the use of contracts. Contracts are an agreement between one or more apps. They enable your app to connect with other apps already installed in the system, the web, or devices. Contracts also allow your app to stay relevant and connected in a growing ecosystem of apps as new ones become available in Windows Store. Search, share, and picker contracts are a way for people to continually interact with your app and gain value from it, even when in the context of other apps. For example, File Picker allows users to import files from one app into another. Contracts enable the most commonly used scenarios. When you design your app, think about the types of scenarios that you want to enable. For example, if you want users to be able to print a recipe or a receipt, use the print contract. Contracts within your app are contextual. While using your app, a user can swipe from the edge, tap Settings, and from that single access point, see all settings that are relevant to your app. Settings is the location for your app's options, app help, privacy policy, account management, and more. Contracts provide a consistent user experience across all apps. Design your app so when a user wants to share information, he or she can always access it with just a swipe from the edge. So when a user is playing a game and achieved a new high score, he or she can easily share it with a social app or a mail app in a consistent way. Contracts are easy to implement. We've provided code samples to help you add contracts to your app. This will allow you to focus on what's really important, the originality of your app. Please watch the video series on Windows 8 contracts and learn how each contract can optimize your app. Then, download the design assets and samples that you can use when you create your app. We hope you'll find these contracts useful when designing your apps. We can't wait to see what you create.
Hi, I'm Ishita Kapoor, and I'm a program manager in the Windows team. In Windows 8, we wanted to make it really easy for you to share your favorite things with friends or with other apps on your Windows 8 machine. In Windows 8, sharing is a first-class experience and a natural user expectation. Majority of the apps in Windows 8 will have interesting content to share. Your app can register to listen for the share event and share this content to other apps. If your app can publish, transform, or store that content in an interesting way, you can register for the Share Target contract in the app manifest. Today, we'll take a look at a few scenarios that showcase different aspects of share. Let's first take a look at how sharing can be social in Windows 8. Here I have a delicious recipe that I found on the WordPress app for Windows 8. I want to go ahead and share this recipe with my friends. I can simply swipe in from the edge to bring up the charms and tap on Share. I now see the list of apps that support the Share Target contract. When I tap on People, I see a view of the app tailored for a simple and quick share experience. Notice that I didn't have to select something specific in the app to share. The source app can implicitly share the content that is relevant for the user in the current view. In the Target app view, I can preview my post and customize it and tap Send. I am now instantly back to my browsing experience. No context switching, just an easy way to share. The Share contract in Windows 8 makes it possible for source apps and target apps to rely on what each is best at to create a web of connected experiences. Sometimes apps will share rich content like photos or videos that may take a while to complete. Let's take a look at one such example. In my Photos app, I have pictures from my recent vacation to Hawaii. This time, I'll select a few specific pictures in the application to send to my friend Allison. Just like before, I can swipe from the edge, tap on Share, and see the list of target apps that support photo sharing. With Share, the target apps can create quick links for people or places that I share with often. The Share pane shows me a quick link for mailing my friend Allison, which takes me to the Mail Target app view with her email address pre-populated on the toolline. I can preview my photos and tap Send. These photos might take a while to send, but I can just go right back to the Photos app or switch to a different app in Windows. If I want to check on the progress of my share, I can just swipe in Charms and view progress by tapping on the link at the bottom of the share pane. For a long-running share, the Share Manager asks for a PLM exception which prevents the app from getting suspended. The target app then has 30 minutes to complete the transfer of data. We've looked at two scenarios that are about sharing with friends. Let's take a look at this next example where you can curate content for yourself with the apps on your machine. In my Reader app, I'm referencing a document on designing great apps. I want to save a snippet from this article for referencing later. I can select the text in my PDF, launch Share. You might notice that the list of target apps here is different than before. This is because a target app registers for specific data types in the Share contract. It may choose to support text, bitmaps, URIs, HTML, storage items, custom formats, or all of those. The list you see is the filtered list of apps available for sharing selected text. I can select Quick Note and share this information to my notebook. Unlike copy-paste, you never have to switch context from the activity you're engaged in. It's productive and efficient. Let's take a look at this next example that really shows the breadth of opportunity with app-to-app sharing. Back in my Photos app, here's a picture of my dog, Bailey. Now my little cousin Emma loves Bailey about as much as she loves playing with the Puzzle Touch game app on my Windows 8 machine. I can share this photo to Puzzle Touch and create an easy puzzle for her to solve. Now, when I go back to Puzzle Touch, the puzzle is right there waiting for me. With the Share contract in Windows 8, sharing is ubiquitous and lightweight, and your apps are at the heart of a social and connected experience. We're excited for you to start sharing.
Hi, I'm Vincent Cellier, a program manager for Windows 8. I'm here today to show you how you can use the Application Settings contract to allow users to find settings for your app in the Settings charm, the standard location for settings in Windows 8. By exposing your application settings in the Settings charm, you ensure that users will find them at any time in the place where all settings are accessed from. Thanks to the app model, settings and information that are applicable to the current context can be accessed at any time from the screen edge. It's there when you need it, but it's out of the way the rest of the time. With frequently needed system options such as volume, brightness, or notification, as well as information related to the current application or system view, like Start. For example, when invoke includes entry of the general behavioral tiles and system help. The Calendar app, for example, includes entry points to Accounts, Options, Help, About, Permissions, and Rate and Review, while the system settings are still required. This breakdown between application and the system settings is a constant throughout the system. Review and permissions are added by the system. Rate and Review is present for all apps available. It links directly to the review page for the app in the store, so users have a convenient and consistent way to review any app from within the app. Permissions is where the system informs the users of the system capabilities that the app uses. Capabilities declaration pane. I am in control over which capabilities are turned on and off. In the example of Calendar, for the app to use the microphone to send notification or run in the background and show notifications on the lock screen. Such as Internet or document library access are shown in a list at the bottom of the pane. The permission pane is completely populated by the system and is shown for every app. The setting charm is where I should find preferences for the app. These settings should reflect configuration that are changed frequently rather than be commands that are part of a common app workflow. In our example, we customize the colors for the various calendars the user tracks. Settings are exposed in a settings flyout that is either wide or narrow. The settings flyout slides in for the side and is dismissed by being outside of it, context of the app, and I can go back to it without needing to navigate back from another app or page. In Windows 8, the settings UX is simple and functional. This allows the app content to shine without the clutter of settings control. Settings UI consists of simple controls such as toggle switches or select controls that are laid out in a single column on a white background. Changes to settings are applied instantly without confirmation. For example, when I change the color for a given calendar, it is reflected immediately. The navigation model also makes it easy to go back to all settings and related information by just hitting back. Settings are typically user-specific. They can also be specific to the accounts that the app connects to. The setting charms is the logical place to host account management and configuration. In the calendar app, I can add accounts and change settings tied to those accounts. The setting charm is also the place for ancillary app content. If information such as help, about, terms of use, or support is included, it is expected to be found in the setting charms. The information can be combined and hosted in a settings flyout, like the About page in our calendar app. If required, you can add links to more information on the web from here. Alternatively, if the content is meant to be dynamic, it can be hosted within an iframe. In Windows 8, the setting charms unifies settings in an always available place that users will come to rely on. Placing your settings in the setting charms ensures that users will find your settings where they expect them and without losing context. And it allows you to dedicate your app surface to actual content. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Priya Dandawati, and I'm a program manager on the Windows team. In Windows 8, we wanted to make it really easy for people to connect and share their photos, music, and videos with their friends and family. One of the places where we took a hard look was at sharing content across devices. Sharing photos, music, and videos is something all of us do. Let's take a look at a common scenario with Ken, another program manager at Microsoft.
Hi, Priya.
Hey, Ken. Ken and I are looking at some photos from a cooking class we took a few weeks ago. As you can see, there are lots of photos with us and our team.
I want to post the photos to my Facebook account to share them with my family and friends. But first, I need to get the photos from Priya's PC onto mine.
So the first thing I'll do is select a few photos. Next, I'll open the charms and choose the devices charm. Next, I'll choose the option Tap and Send. Now I'm ready to tap my PC against Ken's.
On my PC, I've received a notification inviting me to receive some content. I'll accept the notification and the transfer has started.
The first thing you'll notice here is with the ease of a tap, Ken and I were able to establish a connection between our devices. Once the transfer is finished, Ken should have the pictures. This set of improvements has really made it easy to send stuff to Ken.
The Photos app is loading with my new photos, and now they're on my PC. Tap and Send automatically stores the pictures in the Downloads folder. That way, I can go back to view, delete, or edit these pictures, and I can always find them in the same place.
It's easy to support Tap and Send in your app because it's part of two commonly used Windows contracts, the Share contract and the File Association contract. Your app can send content via Tap and Send by using the Share contract.
And your app can receive content from Tap and Send by using the File Association contract.
This means that everything sent via Tap and Send can also be shared via the Share charm. First, I'll go back to the Photos app. You can see the images I chose last time are still selected. Next, I'll open the charms, and I'll choose the Share charm. You can see there are several apps I can share to. Also similar to the Share charm, if I have nothing selected, then I have nothing to share. First, I'll go back to the app, and I'll unselect the photos. Next, I'll open the Devices charm, and you can see Tap and Send is no longer available. If I open the Share charm, then I'll get a similar message.
While we're together, I have an app that I want to share with Priya. It's the game Cut the Rope, and I think she'll really like it. To share it with her, I do the same thing she did to share photos with me. First, I select the app in the Start menu. Then I open the charms and select devices. Then I select tap and send, and Windows tells me that it's ready for our devices to be tapped together.
On my machine, you can see I've received a notification to receive content. I'm going to go ahead and accept the notification, and now the browser loads with the app Cut the Rope. As you can see in Windows 8, we made it really easy to share with your friends. It's simple, fast, and intuitive.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to try it.
Hi, I'm Priya Vaidyanathan, and I'm a program manager in the Windows User Experience team. In Windows 8, we wanted to make it really easy for you to search for the content users care about in the apps they love without always having to find and launch the app. Search is universally accessible, contextual to your app, and just a simple swipe away. I'm here in the Start screen, and I simply swipe the edge and tap on the search arm to begin searching. Search is contextual to the app I'm in, and this is also true of system locations. Because I was in the Start screen when I opened the search charm, I am now searching for apps that are installed on this machine. You'll notice that there are 3 system locations right below the search box: Apps, Settings, and Files. I'm looking for the Notepad application, so I start typing NOT and see my list of apps automatically filter down to show me results that match. I can see the Notepad application, and I can simply tap on it to launch. But you'll also notice below the search box that the 3 system locations have now been updated, and they're showing me counts. It tells me I have 2 installed apps that match the search term NOT. If I tap on Settings, I'll see all the settings that are available on my PC that start with NOT. Or if I tap on Files, now I'll see all the files that have the search term NOT somewhere in there. Let's take another look at searching for files in the system. I'm interested in finding a song that I recently downloaded by this band called the Viper Creek Club. As I start to type in VI, you'll notice a set of suggestions appear below the search box. These suggestions are powered by the system indexer, and these suggestions are provided based on the terms and the content and metadata of the files on my local PC. We've made the same functionality available to all app developers. If you're building an app that acts on files on the user's PC, you can power your app's search experience with query suggestions based on the content in the user's files. In this case, these are going to be called local content suggestions, and it's just a setting you can turn on via the search contract. If I tap on Viper Creek Club, I now see all the results for it in my file system. You'll notice that there are several other locations I can search in listed below the system locations. These are all Windows apps that have implemented the search contract. By simply installing these apps, they automatically appear as a search location in the search charm. Since I've recently started listening to the band Viper Creek Club and I want to learn more about what others are saying about them, I can just tap on the Tweetro app. And now I'm seeing results. This is the Tweetro app running and showing all recent tweets from people mentioning the Viper Creek Club. Apps know best how to render their content. Windows makes it just easy to search in your application from anywhere in the system. I want to learn more about Viper Creek Club's tour dates, so I can simply tap on the Bing app. And now the Bing app is launched and loaded, and now it's showing me results for Viper Creek Club. And as I can see, here's their official website up at the top. I can tap on upcoming concerts. There's images for Viper Creek Club. They have a Facebook fan page. All of this available to me via one simple tap in the search charm. This unified search experience makes it easy for users to find the content they care about in the apps they love. Search is also contextual to the app you're in. When I tap on the search charm here, you'll notice that the search box opens and shows me the query I'd last done in this app. Now I'm going to search for something different in the Bing app. I'm going to be searching for Windows 8. As I start searching for Windows 8, you'll notice that the results loaded are the same. They're rendered the same way as they were when I was looking for Viper Creek Club. Apps have to design only one search experience that is universally accessible from the search charm. You've seen that apps can provide query suggestions to be shown when the user's typing in the search box. Here's an example of query suggestions. Now, I'm going to show you a different type of suggestion that other apps can provide. I'm going to go back to my Start screen and launch the Weather app. Now when the weather app launches, if I open up the search charm here, again you'll notice I'm searching in weather because it says weather right below the search header. As I start to type in here, I'm interested in finding the weather for Seattle. You'll notice that the suggestions shown here look different. These are called result suggestions. Result suggestions show a picture and a name. And these are used to indicate a strong or exact match result that users can find within your app. So if I tap on Seattle, I'm taken directly to the weather page for Seattle. Let me show you another city. Let's say I'm searching for Singapore. If I tap on Singapore, I am taken directly to seeing the weather for Singapore. I can skip the search results view altogether. This unified search experience makes it easy for the user to find the content they care about in the apps they love. Apps have to design only one search experience that is universally accessible from the search charm.
Hi, I'm Sangeeta Ranjan and I'm a program manager in the Windows team. In Windows 8, we wanted to make it really easy for you to print from your app using the print contract. The print contract enables you to focus on providing the print content, while Windows provides the user experience and the underlying infrastructure. Let me show you how you can use the print contract to print from your app. I'm reading a blog on Windows 8 Developer Center and would like to print it to read later. I simply swipe in from the edge, bring up the charms and tap on Devices. I now see a list of printers that I install on my Windows 8 device. Tapping on my printer brings up the Windows print experience. Preview on the left shows me what the final printout is going to look like. On the right, I see a few commonly used printer settings that I can change before I print. By default, you see 3 settings on the right: copies, orientation, and color. Your app can control what settings show on the right and the default values for these settings. If I want to explore advanced printer settings, I tap on the More Settings link. This launches the Advanced Printer Settings experience. I can view and change settings from here before I print. Changing settings on the print experience can cause the preview to be updated. To print, just tap on the print button and collect your output from your device. When you add the print contract to your app, printing is always available from the device's charm, making it quick and easy to access and use. Let's look at another app. I'm reading the Windows 8 product guide using the Reader app. I want to print a few pages. When you're printing from your app, you may want to customize the print experience to show key settings to the user. The print contract enables you to customize the print experience and tailor it to your needs. Let's take a look at a customized print experience. If you notice, the print experience is slightly different. That's because the Reader app has decided to customize the print experience by showing additional printer settings that are relevant to the app, such as the size, pages per sheet, and duplex printing. The Reader app also shows its own custom setting, the Pages setting. The setting allows you to select which page you want to print. Selecting the current page option only prints the current page. Note how the preview is updated to show only the current page to print. When you're ready to print, simply tap on the print button to print and collect your output from your device. Print contract enables you to print from your app the way you want to print. You may print with absolutely no customization on the print experience, or with as much customization as your app needs. When designing your app, take some time to think about the content users may want to print. This will help you choose what content needs to be printable from your app and help you decide how you should customize the print experience.
Hi, I'm Scott Hoogerwerf, a Senior Program Manager on the Windows User Experience team. I'm here today to show you how you can use the File Picker contracts to allow users to open and save files from your app. With the File Open Picker contract, you can increase your app's visibility by allowing users to open files from your app from any other app. Let's start with a basic task. Say I want to change my lock screen photo. As I choose Browse, the Windows 8 File Picker launches. As you can see, I can easily navigate around my local file system. However, in this case, I'd like to choose a picture from an app. There's 3 apps that have implemented the File Open Picker contract: SkyDrive, Photos, and Camera. In this case, I want to pick something from SkyDrive. SkyDrive launches, and I can easily navigate around and pick the file that I would like. As you can see, the contract's built-in behavior allows users to select from your app, as simple as choosing from a file on your computer, but completely tailored to your app. Similarly, we also have a File Save Picker contract that allows apps to save to your app. I'm going to use this fun test app we call ListView. As I choose Pick Photo, again I see my local file system. However, in this case, I'd like to choose a picture from SkyDrive. So as I did before, I navigate into SkyDrive and choose the picture I'd like. Now let's add a fun mustache to my picture. But now that I've added the mustache, I'd like to save that picture back to SkyDrive. Because SkyDrive implements the File Save Picker contract, when I launch the Save Picker, SkyDrive shows up as one of my locations. I navigate into Pictures and hit Save, and now my photo is saved to SkyDrive. But let's go to SkyDrive just to make sure it got there. Yep, it's there. One other great addition to the File Save Picker contract is our third and final File Picker contract. It's what we call the Cache File Updater contract, which allows files to be updated in real time when we save from one app to another app. Let's revisit the ListView app. Here you can see the photo I previously saved. But let's add a funny set of glasses to the photo. Because the SkyDrive app has implemented the Cache File Updater contract, when ListView saves the file, it is automatically sent to SkyDrive. So in this case, I added the funny glasses, and ListView saved the file. Let's go to SkyDrive and see if it got there. Yep, it made it there. With the Windows 8 File Picker contracts, your app can be at the center of user content by easily allowing users to open and save files from your app.
Hi, I'm Jan Nelson, and I'm a Program Manager in the Windows and Windows Live International team. In Windows 8, we wanted to make it really easy for you to create your apps in multiple languages to reach more markets. My team has created the Multilingual App Toolkit to help you with that. This cool, simple set of tools is a free download that integrates into Visual Studio, including the Express Edition. Let me give you a quick tour. I'm here in the IDE of the Visual Studio Express 2012 Windows 8 Edition, which is a free download. I have already downloaded and installed the Multilingual App Toolkit from the Dev Center. This toolkit extends Visual Studio, making it easy to add multi-language support. Let's open a sample app called Woof. Now let's go to the Tools menu and enable the Multilingual App Toolkit. There. I'm going to add a second language to the project, so select the Project menu, then Add Translation Languages. This brings up a list of all Windows supported languages. I'm going to select German for this demo. Here we go. You can see we add a folder called Multilingual Resources. This is where we will provide all language file management for you. Now you see we have added a file called German.xlf under the Multilingual Resources folder. This file is based on an industry standard XLIF schema to assure your resources will be available to any translation source you choose. Okay, let's build the project, which will populate that German XLF file with the English source strings in preparation for translation. We are opening the XLF file in the included Multilingual App Toolkit editor. Okay, you see how we have the English in both the source and the translation columns. To translate the file, just type over the translation version and save it. It's that simple. Don't know any German? That's okay. We've created a link to the Microsoft Translator service. Let's use that now and get some great German suggestions for the app. I'm going to translate all from the service, and there we go. The file is completely translated with suggested text. I'll just close and save this file. I had previously added German to my list of preferred languages. Let me move that up now as the main display language. There. Okay, we can see that the German.xlf file has the translation suggestions in it. Let's rebuild the solution and run it. Cool. As you can see, we have created a multilingual app in a few simple steps. It's now ready for a German language expert to review the suggestions, and then you're ready to release to the Windows Store. It's just that easy. To summarize, the Multilingual App Toolkit makes adding and managing translations easier for WinRT apps. The benefits are that you can quickly expand your customer base and markets with added languages. You can focus on development in the source language while the toolkit provides multilingual resource support, and more. Thank you. We hope you find the Multilingual App Toolkit a powerful companion to your app building.
Hi, I'm Zain Salim, and I'm a program manager for Play 2 on the Windows 8 team. Play 2 is a great way to make your apps more engaging by allowing users to share music, videos, and photos from your apps with their devices at home. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some key Play 2 scenarios using IE10, music, video, and photo apps as examples, and also show you what the experience looks like on some supported Windows 8 devices. We designed Play 2 to make it really easy for users to share their personal photos, videos, and music on a big screen from any Windows 8 app. Let's see how this works from the Photo app. Here are some photos from one of my albums in the Photo app. To share these with friends and family at home, all I need to do is swipe in the charms, select Devices, and then select my device. Notice how my Xbox and TV appear on this list. This is because they are Play 2 supported devices, and Windows 8 automatically detects and installs them on my home network. Let me select my Xbox. And within just a few seconds, the photos start showing up on my TV, and my app goes into a companion slideshow mode. In this mode, I can select additional photos or just watch the slideshow progress. I can even select a video. To disconnect, I can easily disconnect from the same place right in the device charm. Now, let's see what the experience is like from the video app. All I have to do is open up the app and select a video from my collection. Once it starts playing, I can send it to my TV using the same consistent flow by selecting it from the device charm. Once it starts streaming to my TV, I can pause, play, or seek right from my slate or even from my remote control. To disconnect, swipe in the charms again and select Disconnect. And the video continues to play on my slate. Now, let's look at some music. I can select an album or playlist from the Music app and stream it to my TV or even network-enabled speakers using the same consistent flow. Swipe in the charms, select Devices, and select the device I want to stream to. In this case, I'm going to try streaming to the Xbox 360 console again. Once the song starts playing on my TV, I can pause, play, or even seek right from Windows. To disconnect, go back into the charms and hit disconnect. Finally, let's take a look at the Play 2 experience from IE10. All HTML5 music, videos, and images are automatically Play 2 enabled in IE10. For example, if I'm looking at this video from the Building Windows 8 blog and I want to send it to my TV, I can do that by swiping and tapping on the TV from my charms. This time, let me try sending this video to the Sony Bravia TV. Within just a few seconds, the video starts playing on my TV, right from the web. This also works with images and music. I can pause the video from the browser, play, seek, or even adjust the volume. To disconnect, I can swipe in the charms and select disconnect. As you can see, in Windows 8, we made it really easy to share music, photos, and videos with devices at home. The Play 2 contract allows you to enable Play 2 scenarios in your app with just a few lines of code, as shown in the MSDN documentation and the SDK sample. It's a great way to include fun social experiences in your app.
Hi, my name is Ryan Demopoulos. I'm a program manager on the Windows Developer Experience team, and today I want to give you 3 quick tips about how to effectively use the WinJS ListView control to present lists of data in your Windows HTML app. Before we dive in, I'll take a quick moment to introduce the ListView control in case you aren't familiar with it. Lists are everywhere. So much of our daily computing experience is spent interacting with websites and with apps. And almost all of these experiences involve lists of data that we can consume and interact with. And when it comes to lists in Windows apps, they aren't just everywhere, they're also pretty sophisticated, with things like special animations when you add or delete an item, with capabilities such as being able to swipe to select the different items in the list. And they even have a press down effect when you go and you press on each individual item. So there's a pretty high level of sophistication in these lists. And to help you build sophisticated lists in your app, the Windows library for JavaScript provides a ListView control. Many of the apps in the Windows Store use this control, and as you can see, the Mail app here uses it in their message pane, and even the store itself uses it in many of their different views. If you've never used the ListView control, there's a great quick start tutorial for you to follow on Dev Center that will help you get familiar with it. And with that, let's jump into those 3 quick tips for using ListView. Sometimes lists can be long, and when lists have a lot of items, they can become difficult to navigate. Touch users have to pan repeatedly to get to the items that they want, and mouse users have the same problem where they have to fiddle around with a scroll bar thumb to try and land at the right spot in the list. Windows apps have a great way to solve this problem. It's called semantic zoom, and I'll demonstrate it here in the store. Semantic zoom is a user interface pattern that allows users to briefly zoom out of their list to a higher level view of that list, and then from there they can jump back into the list to the spot that they're looking for. This works for touch users by performing a pinch gesture where you pinch your fingers together. Mouse users can also do the same thing in a couple different ways. They can either click a little button down in the lower right hand corner that allows you to zoom out, and then you can click to zoom in, or you can use Control mouse wheel to zoom out and in. And even keyboard users can do this just by hitting Control minus and Control plus. If there's a chance that your ListView control will have a lot of items, you should enable a semantic zoom experience. But even if your list isn't super long, and in the case of the store, it's not super long, it's about 100 items or so, Semantic zoom is still a good thing to add, since sometimes users will zoom out just to try and get a bird's eye view of the list regardless of its size. To help you build a semantic zoom experience, the Windows library for JavaScript provides a semantic zoom control. It can be used in a generic way to allow zooming between lots of different things, but it was designed to work especially well with list views. So adding it to your existing list view is a pretty straightforward process. Be sure to check out the Quick Start guide on Dev Center that describes the process, and that should get you started. Many Windows apps have a hub as the first screen you encounter when you launch the app. Hubs allow users to get a quick overview of all the content that an app offers, and they also provide a launching point to go and explore that content. Hubs are part of a very common navigational pattern that you'll see in many Windows apps. You can see one example here in the Bing Finance app. Hubs show each area as groups of content. Each group is limited to showing just a sneak peek of the topmost items that you'd see within that category. For example, in the news category, you can see the top news articles of the day. And then if I go and tap on the header of news, it'll actually take me to the news section where I can go and get many, many more news articles. And I can also go back to the hub just by hitting the back button. That'll take me back to this kind of central location where I can go and launch into other different areas of the application. This whole jump in, jump back model is really central to the concept of hubs. On a technical level, it's easy to think of a hub as a single big list of stuff. So you might think to use a list view to create that entire hub experience, especially since the list view's grid layout sort of looks like a hub. And sometimes this is fine. For example, if I switch over to the store, you can see that there's a hub in the store, and this hub was built using a single list view control. And this worked well because all of the items in the store are fundamentally list items in this hub view. But in many cases, hubs are even more than just a single homogeneous list of items. They can be an entire experience that ties together many different pieces of UI, and sometimes those individual pieces might not include list items at all. I'll switch back to the Finance app to show you what I mean. In this app, you can see that there are a number of different groups. There's the Indices group, the News group, and the Watch list. One thing that you'll notice here is I can swipe different items in the Watch list to select them, but I can't do that in the News group. And if I were to implement this as one single list view with a bunch of different groups, it would just be kind of strange in the sense that it's odd to have a single list that has items that have different types of interactivity. Some of them are selectable, some of them aren't. These are really two separate lists that have entirely separate data sources. And if we take a look at the Indices group, you can see that the only thing in this group is this big chart. If you were to take that chart and try and shove it into a list view as like one big single item, that would not only be kind of strange to think about, but you get some strange behaviors. Like if I press down on other list view items, you can see that the item kind of shrinks down as I press it. You wouldn't want that happening on the chart if I press down there, because the whole chart would be kind of doing like that shrink effect, and that's not really what you want when you're interacting with that chart. The way you want to think about all this is instead of starting with a list view and trying to design your hub so that it fits into that one list view control, it's actually better to go the other way. Design your hub first and then see where the list view controls might fit into that design. In the case of the Finance app, we would have put a list view here for the News group and a separate list view with selectable items as the Watch list. And doing it this way will just make it a much easier time to implement your hub because you won't have to wrestle with trying to make everything fit awkwardly into one control. Lists come in all shapes and sizes. In some cases, lists are only a portion of what's showing on the screen. But in other cases, the list is the centerpiece of the experience, taking up almost all of the screen real estate. Here's a quick tip. When you use a list view to display a big list, you might want to stretch the invisible boundaries of that list to be even bigger than just the area that the list takes up. For example, we can take a look at the store. You can imagine designing this UI with a title at the top and a list view with items underneath, and I've drawn a box around that right here. But what happens when a user tries to pan this list? Unless they're careful about panning directly within this box, there's a chance that their finger won't actually touch inside the list view. They might hit somewhere up here where my mouse is pointing, and then the pan won't occur. Now, since this list is definitely the centerpiece of the experience, it would be nice if panning anywhere on the screen were to cause the list to pan. And this is how the store actually works. You can see that if I pan up in the top area, even though I'm not actually panning directly over the list, I can pan over the list, but if I pan up in this area here, it still manages to work. And this really feels right in terms of what a user would expect if they were to just kind of put their finger down on the screen and start panning around. To achieve this, you just need to add CSS margins to the list view surface, so the list view takes up the whole screen and can intercept touches anywhere. It's a simple tweak that can add nice polish to the interactivity of your list. You can read more information on how to do this on Dev Center in the article Styling the List View and its Items. To recap what we looked at today, we first learned that lists are a common and important part of Windows apps, and when building an app in HTML, the Windows library for JavaScript provides a list view control that's specifically built for this purpose. We also learned 3 quick tips when working with the control. First, to add semantic zoom to your list view. Second, to remind yourself to design your hub first and then consider where list views can be helpful after. And finally, the simple trick of stretching your list view's dimensions to make the panning experience more forgiving and polished. As a reminder, there are tutorials and documentation on the Windows Dev Center that can show you how to get started with the list view and the semantic zoom control. I hope this video and these quick tips were useful to you, and I hope you have a great time using ListView in your Windows HTML apps. Thanks.